Do you need a mic when teaching your English yoga classes on Zoom? So let's talk about it. So maybe you want to start teaching some yoga classes in English on Zoom, but you're not sure if you really need to buy a mic or not. So in this video, we'll discuss about having no mic and then using some mics or some other wireless equipment you might have when teaching your yoga classes in English on Zoom. And hi, I'm Michael, and I help yoga teachers who are non-native English speakers teach yoga in English. And like I said in this video, it's all about using Zoom. If you've got questions about maybe doing live streaming or using YouTube, you can pop it down in the comments. I'll be happy to reply to those. And stick around to find out which one sounds best for your English yoga classes that are online. So I'm going to talk about using no mic, using wireless headphones, for example, the AirPods, as well as using a wireless microphone. So let's get straight into it and I'll jump over onto Zoom. Hello and welcome to Zoom. So I've opened up the Zoom application here on the computer and let's check out first what it sounds like with no microphone connected. I will switch between either using my phone as a camera or using my computer as the camera. So when I use the computer, the quality of the picture will not be as good, but today we're just talking about the sound quality because the second one, which I'm going to talk about, the wireless headphones, only connect to the phone. And let's check out what it sounds like on a computer with no mic. Okay, welcome to the computer. How does my voice sound? Because now I'm near the computer, maybe my voice sounds okay. You might hear a bit of echoing, but I'm going to go and step on the mat right here. And I'm going to keep talking as I walk to get there so you can see how my voice changes the further away I get from the computer. So I'm going to stand up, walk towards the mat. Can you hear me? How does it sound? Is my voice okay? Can you hear? What do you think about this style? The computer is at least 2 meters away from me, as you can see. I can't really fit. Okay, and I'm going to come to the front of my mat. Just going to teach a bit of yoga, see how it sounds. Maybe I sound really far away. Maybe you can't hear me that well. Let's bring your hands to your heart center. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. And step back into downward facing dog. So I'm just going to be here talking. Walk your heels up and down, pedal your feet. Come, roll, side plank, face the back. Can you hear me? Ooh. Okay, now come to side plank the opposite side, facing forwards. How does my voice sound? Now, child's pose. Come down all the way into child's pose. Head down on the floor. Can you hear me? Ooh. Inhale, slowly roll up. Wow. What did you think about that? Could you hear all my instructions? Was I clear? Was it difficult? So if it's difficult for your students to hear what you're saying because the sound quality is not very good, that will make the lesson, the yoga class, the experience not very enjoyable. Because if you can't see, then it's kind of okay if the quality of the video isn't so good. That's something you can kind of feel like, oh, it's okay. But if you can't hear, that gets very annoying. And if you can't hear what's being said, you don't know what's happening. So then you have to keep on looking. So then you can't focus on the practice. And that's not what you want for your students. You want them to feel comfortable and to be able to take time to do their yoga practice. So that's why it's better to be clear when teaching your online classes on Zoom. So now let's check about using the phone? Is it any different compared to using the computer? Okay, so let's move over to the phone. Let's go.
Hi, and welcome to the phone. So here, I'm just using my phone and the microphone on the phone. So how does it sound? Does it sound clearer? Does it sound better or worse than the computer? Okay, so now I'm going to come up onto the mat and let's see how this sounds compared to the computer. Standing up, walking back. How does it sound? How does it sound? How about here? Can you hear me? How about if I speak in a louder voice? So let's come onto the mat. Ground the feet down. Can you hear me? Hands to your heart center. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Drop your head down towards the floor. How does this sound? Step back into downward facing dog. Feather your feet up and down. Can you hear me? Ooh. So can you hear my voice clearly or not? Okay. Come into side plank, face the back. Plank down to the front. Side plank, opposite side. Come back to downward facing dog. Drop your knees down, head down, rest in child's pose. Can you hear me? Inhale, roll up. So, how does that sound? What do you think? Maybe my voice sounds a bit far away. Is it difficult to hear me? Especially when I'm facing towards the back. So now let's check using wireless headphones. The ones I'm going to use are the Apple AirBuds. And now these ones are connected. Okay, so let's go onto the mat and see how it sounds. So how is my voice? Can you hear me fine? Is it okay? I'm going to walk back and back and back. Can you hear me? Ooh, turn around. How does it sound? So let's come onto the mat. Ground your feet down, hands to your heart center. Let's do a few movement poses here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Drop your head down to the floor. And then step back into downward facing dog. How does it sound? Can you hear me? So there's one little challenge with these ones. It's because you're moving about, sometimes they can fall out. And I'll share a nice little gadget with you to help prevent that. So let's try side plank facing the back. How do I sound? Can you hear me? Come back down, opposite side, side plank, facing towards the camera. And then let's do child's pose. So come down onto your knees, head down towards the floor. How does it sound? Can you hear me okay? What do you think? Inhale, slowly roll up. So this is a wireless microphone, and you can also use these outside of your yoga classes to listen to music. So these do have a good point there, so you can use them for personal use and teaching classes online. And like I said, sometimes they can fall out because they're not actually connected to anything, they're just stuck in your ear. Let's check out the last one, which is a wireless microphone.
So this is using a wireless mic. And the one that I'm using is a Deity mic. So this one is wireless. So I have two devices. I have one which is plugged in to currently for this, I'm using the computer. It also works with your phone too. And then you have another one, which you have on you, which I have here in my pocket. So in my leggings, I have a nice pocket here, which I can slide it into. So I'm just going to show you it now. And here it is. So this is what I have inside my pocket. And then as you can see here, it's a cable. And there is a lavalier mic, or sometimes known as a pin mic, right here, which you'll often see on many TV programs when newscasters are presenting and when people are talking on TV. You will often see this here. So next time you're watching TV, look out for them. But if you don't have one of these lavalier mics, that's perfectly fine. You can use it just as it is. Okay, so let's do a bit of yoga and see how it sounds. I'm just going to get up and get onto my mat. And you might notice now that obviously there's no change again with my voice. It shouldn't feel further away. The further away I get from the camera. So the sound should be fine. Like if I get closer, I can even walk away and you can still hear me. Okay, so now let's try on the mat. So come stand on the mat, ground both feet down, hands to your heart center. So just try to do a few poses that you would normally do in yoga. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. So my head is down towards the ground. Because my shirt is a little loose, you might hear my voice gets a little louder because it's coming a bit closer. But if you have more tight-fitting clothes, that shouldn't be a problem. And I might have just hit the mic. So that's one thing you need to be careful. You're going to step back, downward facing dog. Okay, here in downward facing dog. I'm just going to turn my head side to side. Okay, and then come to a side plank, facing away. How does it sound? Come facing you. Ooh, how does it sound? And then come all the way down, child's pose. So bring my head down onto the floor. So again, like I just said, the mic is probably a bit closer to me, to my voice. So it probably sounds a bit louder. And slowly inhale, roll up. Ooh. So how do you think this mic sounds compared to no mic or using the wireless earphone? So this should actually be the most clear. There shouldn't be many problems when moving about. You just have to be careful with your clothes because you actually clip it onto your clothes. So when you're doing some poses where your head is down and your clothes are a bit loose, like mine, the mic might move up and you might hear a bit of a difference in the sound. And this can sometimes be a bit challenging is if you're doing things lying face down and your mic has contact with the floor. So that's one thing you need to be careful about. And I currently do not have one, but one thing you can do is you can have the headset mics. So you've probably noticed this when you've gone to a gym and if you've ever joined in or if you've ever taught any classes inside the gym, you'll have like a microphone here. And this one is probably the best for yoga because it's always here. It generally doesn't move and it's always by your mouth. But one thing you have to be careful is if you breathe into it, you obviously will get that sound there. And it does make it a bit difficult if you're doing poses where your head gets down on the floor because it will move the mic slightly. Generally, that is the best one. But then you have to buy something extra. So just work with what you've got. And when you've earned enough money or you feel ready, you can invest in the headset mic. So what do you think? Do you need a mic for teaching English yoga classes on Zoom? Well, it depends on how clear you want your voice to be and how professional you want to sound. If you're serious about reaching your students clearly and confidently, a mic is the best option. But it can be expensive. So just use what you have. So if you have some wireless headphones, go for it. And one thing I recommend is do not buy the cheapest mic you can find because the sound quality probably won't be very good. And sometimes there are issues when using those Bluetooth ones is that sometimes you have to have a special app to connect the Bluetooth mic to your phone or to your computer. Whereas if you're using a wireless one, and the most common wireless one is the Rode Go Plus. And I'll put a link for that down in the description below. And it's affiliated link. So if you do purchase from there, it helps to support me. The mic that I use, the deity mic, currently isn't available on Amazon, but that one, it was a good set because it had all the cables there to use. So you can use it with your phone or with your computer. Whereas with the Rode mics, sometimes you have to buy extra cables when connecting it to your iPhone or to your computer or to your devices. So just be careful about that. But they are the most popular mics used by YouTubers and fitness instructors. So they are highly recommended, but they are a bit more expensive. But if you want to teach yoga in English online, it is definitely a good investment. And when you're first starting out, just use what you've got until you feel comfortable, or maybe you've earned enough money. So then you can level up your equipment and buy a better product so you have a better experience for your students. And don't forget, if you have any questions about this topic, about using your mic online, please feel free to put it down in the comments below and I'll be happy to help you out. But how about if you want to teach English yoga classes on YouTube, on this platform? What do you need to do about your mic and what are the options? It might be a bit confusing because it's not a live class, it's recorded. So there are some different options you can do and you don't always need a mic. Ooh, do you want to know? So check out here in this video and I'll talk about all those things related to making a video to post onto YouTube. So just about yoga classes. So see you there.